Fuck the cops! We are the people!
Also, keep in mind, if you do choose to stay, and you have personal belongings, if you have a vehicle, I suggest you get rid of them now, because you will lose them. Anything you want to keep in your possession, okay, other than your personal belongings, I suggest you keep them, but your cell phones, cameras, anything that you do not want to leave behind when you get arrested, I suggest you give them to a friend that's not staying. Because we are going to stay, we are going to fight, and we are going to get arrested. So keep in mind, we're not going to give up. This is our right. We deserve this right. So like she said, if you are staying, congregate around the tent. If you are not, congregate around and decide to where you are going to go.
Right to occupy! 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 Occupy!
Okay, so also something that you can do is, if you see somebody getting arrested, tell them to tell you their name. Write down their name, get the spelling right. Get badge numbers of the cops doing the arresting. Ask the names of the cops doing the arresting. Like, I need to take pictures, take video, anything else. You need to get all of that information. Please.
Peaceful protest, no arrest!
Do it.
What about legal shield? Who's staying? We are the people!
Frustrated.
I do not consent to a search. I do not consent to a search. I choose to remain silent. I choose to remain silent. I want to see a lawyer. I want to see a lawyer. And if you're standing on the side, if you're not part of the people that are being arrested, and cops are hassling you, you're doing nothing but being peaceful, ask them directly, am I being detained? Say, am I being detained? If they say no, if they try to misdirect you, if you not get a yes, you are absolutely free to walk away. That is it. One more time, I am not being detained.
I am not being detained.
I do not consent to a search.
I do not consent to a search.
Oh, am I free to go?
Am I free to go?
I choose to remain silent.
I choose to remain silent.
I want to see my lawyer.
I want to see my lawyer.
I want to talk to a lawyer.
I want to talk to a lawyer.
Or one more thing, for the people that are not planning to, get arrested, if you're planning to be a supporter and helping us still, absolutely videotape, hold your sign. You can still make a ruckus and be peaceful. You don't have to be right. You can still, you're still part of it. You're still us. This is our movement, so you can still do your part. Taking those pictures. We are the media, so do that as well. Oh, and you know, hey.
What does your sign say?
Well, just trying to figure out why I'm willing to get arrested. This is about it.
It reads, sacrifice for what you believe.
Yep.
You mentioned earlier that you got a sense of satisfaction from being here that you might not have had earlier. And that has been part of what's convinced you to stay. Can you remember when you first felt that when you got here? How that evolved?
It's a big question. I saw things. I saw things I liked. I saw things I didn't like. I saw people speaking about things I believed in, and also about things I couldn't care less about. 6 a.m. on Monday morning, I was on top of the parking garage. I was looking down at the people occupying, and I saw a man in a tie walk down And there was an education station filled with books and ideas. People could come, take a book, get ideas, discuss those ideas, apply them to our world. And I saw a gentleman at 6 a.m. in suit and tie going to work, walk by and start looking through our books. No one else was really up and around. And he nodded his head at some books and shook his head at others. And he took one step and he stopped and he took his backpack off, and out of the backpack he took a book and he set it on the table with the books, zipped his backpack up and walked to work. And to me that's what it's about. It's sharing ideas. It's 99%. It doesn't matter if you have a suit and tie, if you're homeless. I mean, obviously some situations are better than others, but we're all here to share ideas and try and figure out what's going on in the world and what we can do to fix it. And I think that discussion needs to be had, and I think awareness needs to be brought to the fact that all of us are feeling disgruntled, maybe isn't the right word, but frustrated or confused, or I mean there's so many adjectives I can use, but before we can talk about it we have to face some of the problems we're going through, and I think that's why I'm here. I want to talk about the issues, I want to try and find solutions, but I want that to be with all 99%, even 100%, even the 1%. This isn't, I'm not trying to exclude anybody. I think 100% of the people need to sit down and talk with each other and say, this is the problem I feel we have with the world. Let's analyze it. Let's see what we can do to make it better.
It appears that you've decided to participate in an act of civil disobedience and possibly be arrested.
Yeah, I never really planned on that. It just kind of...
Would you now consider yourself a political activist?
No, I'm sure I can be labeled that, though. I'm not really political, ironically. I'm just here because I believe there are problems in the world that need to be fixed.
When did you get here?
Friday, I watched the march. Saturday, I was in the march. Sunday, I set up my tent.
Where are you from?
Originally, now I live in North Park area, so I've been in San Diego about 6 years. I moved down here to go to San Diego State University, and I graduated a year and a half ago, starting my own business. Ironically, I also work here, so I'm definitely for the World of Dance tour going on. I'm not trying to stop that.
And when you mention the World of Dance tour, that is starting on Saturday?
Yeah, the 15th.
And it's the reason that the police have given for clearing out the tents, is that correct?
Correct. And I believe it's somewhat of a valid reason, but I think it's also a little bit of an excuse, and I don't think we'd be allowed to put the tents back up when there aren't shows going on. So if we were told, if there was a discussion and they said this is a temporary, we're only asking you to leave for the show, I think I might leave. I don't know, I hadn't really thought all this out. It just, I didn't know we were going to be kicked out until a few hours ago, so I've only had a few hours to really think about it. And that's about where I stand or sit at the moment.
Right. Thank you.
You're welcome.